The sensible sociopath. Sometimes they say f and shit and cum dumpster and
This show is not for you.
You have to be a special kind of crazy.
Smart and creepy.
It's not offensive, it's not standoffish, none of that.
Counterculture, baby.
Oh, lady inclusion.
At what point do you stop considering it a clitoris?
Farts in a barn.
This show's gonna be great.
Do you all think I have cancer?
Beehive enthusiast community.
So he could fit in a corset and blow himself.
Non-willing sperm donor.
Why would you say that, Joe? You asshole. You're such an asshole.
Get ready for everything you ever wanted to hear, know, and find out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Sensible Sociopath. My name is Steve, and across from me is also Steve.
Yes, my name is also Steve. First name also, last name Steve.
Yes. And then we have Romerica, our producer, in charge of everything technical and fun and fancy.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
And with this show, we'd like to let you know you can...
Expect the unexpectable.
Okay, that's the only other time I'll do that one. And there's also...
Now we're having fun.
We are having fun. Everyone.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, so today we do have some things planned. We're not really going to play a lot of video, but we're going to just kind of meander through our tangential stream of consciousness sort of show, which are my favorite kind of show. And really, to start out with, we had been talking sort of about our past and religion and different things. And I recalled from my childhood when I was in second grade. So I've said it before on the show, but I grew up in an all-black neighborhood, so there was hardly there wasn't much dating opportunity for me. I mean, because most people weren't allowed to like me. Mm-hmm. I think some girls did, though, actually, and I kind of wish I had. Oh. Yeah. So there was this young lady, and her name was Melanie, and we...
Wait, so she was black?
No, she was a white gal, yeah.
Figured from the name. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. So I met her, I think, in first grade, and after second grade, she was gone. The love of my life had walked out on me.
Is that the end of your story?
That's it, yeah. I've just been sad ever since.
That has nothing to do with religion or anything at all.
Oh, we're supposed to tie things together? Okay, let me try. So when I was in ninth grade, I didn't want to go to the public school because they were pretty rough. So what I did was convinced my parents to send me to a Catholic school that was full of the white people. There, I met up with Melanie again. She was actually in the school. Yeah.
Wow.
We were at a dance in freshman year, which those are important things. Freshman year, dances.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. You get to, touch a girl and stuff.
And guess which one I was going to touch, whether she liked it or not.
Melanesia.
Yep. Yes, Melanesia. It sounded something like this. So we're at the dance.
Did she scream when you touched her?
Well, yeah. I snuck up on her. No.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it was more like this nowadays. That's a guy who blew up a glow stick in his face. It was really hot. He microwaved it.
Yeah, you missed that one. It was pretty intense. Yeah, it was.
It's a winner. I call it Glow Jack.
Wow.
Yeah. You can only fit so much on the button. So I was dancing with Melanie. Okay. I didn't actually assault her. I just asked her to dance. And
did you ask the priest for any advice on how to molest the young girls?
Boys, yeah. He was smoking in his office. That used to be a thing back then. You could smoke in your office. Just hide it when the kids came in.
Sure.
Well, I remember when I was in high school, you could actually smoke on school grounds. They just had a smoking area.
That's true.
Yeah, that was a thing. As long as you weren't in front of the building, you could actually smoke. And this is back east, though, so I think it might have been a little more
lax.
White trash.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you were okay. So you were assaulting Melanie, or what was happening?
Just mentally. Yes. So we were dancing and holding each other very closely and tenderly, longing for each other, staring into each other's eyes. There was nuns walking around, keeping us all from
Did they have
enjoying
rollers
ourselves.
to smack you and or keep the distance between?
I believe they actually talked about that. Like they stopped in before the dance and had everybody had a talk
Arm's
with
length.
everyone about appropriateness. So there was so I asked Melanie, it was my one shot, and I said, Melanie, would you like to go on a date with me? And I'm in 9th grade. I have no opportunity to provide for this woman.
So we're talking about, like, you're going to get her
Pregnant.
a creamy cone at McDonald's for 50 cents. That's the date.
I don't know if I had 50 cents. I mean, my parents.
You're
had
going to
dropped
go
me
for the
off.
free samples down at the grocery store.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
well, it's free.
there was a
I
there
don't
was
know
a
if they
nice.
really did free samples like they do now back in the day.
No, you had to work. That was back when communism was frowned upon. So there were no free samples. You had to work for those goddamn samples.
We had them here in Idaho. You
Oh,
guys
really?
were kind of,
You mean Tampa?
Yeah, we're in Nebraska.
Detroit.
Yeah, Spokane,
Nebraska, Detroit.
Bakersfield.
Shit happens when you party naked says creamy cone equals pregnant.
Yeah, that's innuendo there. Thank you. Shit happens. So I asked her out, right? And I just said, would you like to go on a date with me? And she said, no. Do you know why she said no?
because you had a massive erection.
You see, pants were pleated in the front back then. So it really accentuated your child boners. Actually, that was the school that I had to walk around with a boner in front of with the book in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those, I mean, I'm sure all young men have had those times, but that was the year.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
So
had
why'd
that
she say
time.
no?
She said, I can't date anyone till I'm 16.
Okay.
I said, why? She said, because I'm Mormon. And I said, what is that? I had never heard of that before
Wow.
in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know. There were Catholics, there were Jews. I think that was it. Oh no, Jehovah's Witnesses. They'd
yeah.
come knocking on your door and very assertively.
When I was around that age, I remember that they had commercials for the Latter-day Saints, quote unquote, the Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
But that I'd never met one in real life. I think that's kind of a Utah thing.
There are pockets, I've heard, kind of like Polacks. So I guess in back in Jersey they don't have tons of Mormons, but they do have some. So, anyways, she couldn't date me because she wasn't 16, and even if she probably wouldn't, anyways. But the funny thing is that then I moved out west, and there was less, or to a place where there were a lot more Mormons, and so I started learning about this large, small religion. You know, it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like how Jews tend to live in communities. It's not like there's just a few here and there, like sporadically. It's they tend to like to live around each other, like anybody,
Sure.
like wolves.
Good analogy, Steve.
Yeah. So this was all brought up, and Roma actually brought up a cartoon that was from the 80s.
Was it from the 80s?
Yeah, I think
It sure
was from-
looks like it was illustrated by the guy that did He-Man.
Yes, that's
Yes.
exactly what I thought.
It
Was
tot-
He-Man.
Yeah, it looks like He-Man for sure.
And it's pretty crazy. So we don't know any I don't know any validity on this. I know
Every single thing taught in that video is accurate.
really.
Yeah.
So see, it's basically the Superman story. He gets rocketed down to Earth I mean, I guess the planet did blow up, but
Yeah.
or the God planet or whatever. But yeah. And she's, the mom is busty. She's not wearing a bra, but they stay up, so obviously some godlike powers.
Yeah. That does
Baby
look
with no
like-
nipples or belly button.
Yep.
Safety pins, though. They got those.
Yep. God's wearing flip flops.
Did you see how his legs are splayed?
Look at that. Wow.
It's
So who are we looking at here? That's not Jesus. That's
what was it? You're
what's God's name? Starts with an
Yahweh?
Yahweh.
No, it was a different one. It was do you have sound on it?
Yeah, I can do sound.
Yeah. It was it's
Children. To decide their destiny, the head of the Mormon gods called a great heavenly council meeting.
but
Both of Elohim's eldest sons were
Elohim.
there.
Elohim, yeah.
yeah.
Lucifer and his brother Jesus.
Jesus looks so kind and
A
Lucifer.
plan was presented to build planet Earth, where the spirit children would be sent to take on mortal
I like when
bodies and
Lucifer
learn
becomes
good
the
from
devil.
evil.
Yes, this is all accurate to what's
Lucifer
really God.
stood and made his
Okay.
bid for becoming savior of this new world.
Watch, he's gonna become
Wanting the
evil.
glory for himself, he planned to force everyone
Look how
to
he's
become
yelling.
gods.
He's very
Opposing
upset.
the idea,
Jesus is
the
like,
Mormon
"You
Jesus
fucking- you're
suggested
ridiculous."
giving man his freedom of choice.
This
as
is
on
great.
other
Yeah, okay. So
planets.
bring down the audio.
The vote that followed
on, this is
the good
approved
part
the
is gonna
proposal
come.
of the Mormon
So they
Jesus
vote in heaven
would
now.
become savior of the planet Earth. Enraged,
Here,
Lucifer
watch as he
cunningly
becomes the
convinced
devil.
1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt. Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons.
Oh, this is where it gets fucking crazy.
Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone.
Okay, hold on.
Those who remain neutral in the battle
This is where it
were
gets
cursed
good.
to be born with black skin.
Dun, dun,
This is the Mormon
All right.
explanation for the
Pause,
Negro
stop.
race.
I actually know a guy that
Spirits
looks like
that
one of
fought
those.
After
most-
black skin, just for
Yeah.
let's stop there for a moment. So 1/3 of people become demons, then 1/3, the next third that are neutral. So they're not what? They're not Mormons? Is that really what it was saying?
They were that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we
black
don't have to
people were-
replay it, but
Black people were cursed by God. Yeah. That's,
yeah, I think that's what it was saying, and that's pretty racist
Which
even
is
for
not true.
1981.
By the way, I am not racist.
well, yeah, I'm not racist, and I'm not racist.
Roma, are you racist?
I'm not racist.
Oh yeah, I'm not racist.
Exactly.
I'm not racist. Steve, are you racist?
No, I'm not.
Steve is. He
How about
was, yeah. He forgot he was on camera. He's all nodding. Yeah, but there's even for 1981. So I could see if they hated gays in 1981 because that was still a thing. People were still scared. But
I
I
mean,
don't
you
know.
gotta
I think-
figure these beliefs go back way before 1981, though. The video was just made then, and it's supposed to be a video that's anti-Mormon. So I could see why they'd be inclined to throw
Okay.
that in there.
Oh, this is supposed to be anti-Mormon.
Yes.
How do you know that?
Well, because well, first of all, he's telling the story, and multiple times he says supposedly this, supposedly that.
yeah, and there's the Native Americans who were the original Israelites, according to this.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Or the chosen people, or so. They're I guess Indians are Jewish, or Native Americans are Jewish.
But so wait, I have a question. Then Steve, not green coat Steve, other Steve, how do you know that this is accurate?
So it's been a minute since I watched it, but I studied world religions in college, and I've also
Oh, fancy.
grown up around Mormons and Mormonism my entire life. So
Mhm.
I have a very good grasp on it. And I've read books about Mormonism. So yeah, there was everything that was said in here was accurate to everything that I had learned over the years and over my life. So
Interesting. Because it's hard to say it's kind of like with Scientology. You hear these certain things and you go, what is true? What is false? What's myth and lore? And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
This
if you talk to an educated Mormon, they will tell you that they believe they're going to inherit their own planet and become a god over that planet.
and I can vouch for that because I do know a Mormon woman who believes that. But at this point in the movie, just to make a point, this point right here, he keeps talking. He's given Joseph Smith a pretty hard time.
What for?
There's just a lot of like supposedlys and
No cigarettes.
Yeah.
right. Oh, and it talks about their
In the
weird.
80s?
It talks about their weird secret rituals and stuff.
Yeah.
Bow tie wearing rituals.
When
Okay.
they opened a Mormon church temple somewhere and did a walkthrough at one point, and I remember going there, and it's pretty. It's very interesting, and they didn't even let us into like the really good parts, the really
Like the snack bar.
yeah, the buffet.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I don't put any religions, down, because it's like, look, if people are doing good within their communities, what are you gonna do? People can believe some weird fucking shit.
Sure. You break down any religion, all the major religions believe weird
Weird
crap.
Oh, absolutely. Superstition and all sorts of and then of course there's the people who take advantage of religions to manipulate people and to do bad things, like you're saying, kid touching. And it's not that that's a tenet of Catholicism.
Right.
It's that there are people that take advantage of a position of power in anything you do.
Kat says she doesn't like it when cartoon Jesus stares and blinks at her.
Yeah, it's creepy. For sure.
Well, I don't think the animation is as high of quality because they just loop the same things over and over again. So when you saw Lucifer gesturing and screaming like Hitler, it was just the same thing cut 2.5 times. So that it's like, oh, did they show that again? And then they, on the halftime, you can't say yes.
So did you or did you not end up marrying this Mormon girl and having spirit children?
I
Celestial, endless celestial sex.
Yeah,
You did
I
not.
did have a Celestial Seasonings pizza, though.
Is that like garlic? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's like 7 different seasonings, and you couldn't guess them
There's different levels.
one from another.
There's different levels.
Yeah, I think oregano was in it. Oh wow, wink. not giving away all the secrets. No, and so I don't even think I ever saw her again after that. But
Oh, I'm sorry, pal. It seems you're still really reeling over this.
well, I wished her dead after that night.
Oh,
I cursed her, really.
seems like you really loved her a lot.
Yeah. It's a good thing that school was by the woods.
Ah,
I caught her on the way home.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of serial killers, did
Oh.
you know that? Hold on, I wrote notes. Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair on January 24th. Did I not write the year? It's like 19.
It was fairly
It's like-
recently. It was 90,
Hold on, now I gotta look it
94,
up.
something like that. Or maybe that was when Dahmer was killed. But yeah, it was very. Oh no, 89.
I feel like
I think it was 89. Because I think he was alive when they fried him. And actually, he was a Mormon for a short period of time. Did you know that?
Ted Bundy?
Yeah,
Wow.
Bunny.
yeah. Ted,
Bundy.
old Ted Bunny.
19. Oh no, he was born 1978.
89.
1989.
Yep, good call, Roma.
Whoa. Hold
January 24th. Is that today?
It
Wait.
is.
Whoa. How is he born in 1978 and dies in 1989? Ted Bundy.
He was very mature for his age. Yeah, he killed all those women.
It says he was born in 1978.
I think that's just an excerpt. Maybe he changed his name. Yeah,
Well, what he's saying is he
He's-
would be like
born in 46 there.
Yeah, that makes
Theodore
sense. He was born in
Robert-
1946.
Theodore Robert Cowell.
Yeah, there's something goofy. I don't understand the editing they did there because
Mhm.
that's very poorly.
Yeah.
Wait. It says in July 1978. No, you changed it.
Sorry.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
he
sure
was
he's probably
40.
started
He was
killing.
43 when he died.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And Roma and I, we were actually talking about
1946.
serial killers, and we were talking about this gentleman,
Was she a great big fat person?
James Gumb from Silence of the Lambs. And I didn't bring up that Thomas Harris, the author of Silence of the Lambs, started in the FBI's behavioral science unit. And it was back in I think in the 80s when they were trying to catch, Bundy and all these, cases that as technology got, as it improved and communications was better. So they started having fax machines so you could send out, case files to people and all that. They started to make these connections, serial killers, and they had to start developing the psychology of those serial killers and profiling. And that's really where it started. And that's one of the reasons that it was such a great book and movie is that you have all these different types of files that he can watch. He can look at all the information, look at all the craziness, Ed Gein, Edwin Kemper, all that stuff, and put it all together into serial killer characters. So I think that's one of the reasons it has some of the best characters and scariest of them all.
I pulled up a picture here of him after he got electrocuted. So apparently they electrocuted him
I don't know
for.
if you're allowed to show dead people on YouTube.
Well, I just did. So
Well,
it was in the newspaper. So
yeah.
this was after his electrocution. They electrocute you for 2 minutes.
Sometimes longer.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We don't know that that's a picture of him dead. He could just be napping.
Yes.
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, YouTube.
We don't
Sure
know.
they're-
You can't prove anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think.
But wait a minute. So you said earlier that he was a Mormon?
Yes. So he started out in Seattle, went to the University of Seattle, then went down to Utah after that. I think he spent some time in Spokane and some other places in Washington, and then went down to Utah where he, I guess, got recruited. And so when he was in court in Washington, the Mormons were supporting him quite a bit because they only knew him as the good Mormon guy. But meanwhile, he had murdered a couple girls up in the Colorado areas, and actually one of them was a sheriff's daughter that he had killed. So he wasn't very popular in that town.
I bet not.
Yeah.
So back to Mormons, aren't they? They're known for their prepping, aren't they?
Yeah.
Survival and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all supposed to have 2 years, I think 2 years worth of food for the whole family, like as a minimum.
And they have big families.
They have big families.
So that's
They're
a-
supposed to have ideally 7 children per family.
Don't they get into higher levels of heaven the more children they have?
Yeah, it's highly recommended.
That is
Because there's 3.
insane.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the. I don't know if the number of children is a hard rule, but it's a soft rule that you want 7 children is the most optimal to get into the highest level of heaven. That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess they could have picked any number, so at least 7's just
Yeah.
overly reasonable, but over reasonable. But
Well,
I,
this way within. I mean, Mormonism's only been around, for, under 200 years.
well, I mean, there were the space gods though, so
Right.
Yeah.
But this way, within several generations, they could go from a couple thousand people to
that's true.
20 million, which they have. So
Now, do Mormons fear AIDS if they're not using protection?
do they fear AIDS?
Yeah, is that a big concern in the Mormon community?
No, No.
I know transsexual pornography stars, she-males, as they're known colloquially. A lot of times some of the female performers won't star with them because of the potential for HIV.
With the Mormons?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder why there would be a potential for HIV in the Mormon community. I've never heard that.
Breasts and penises.
I think Steve just thinks that everyone has AIDS.
Well,
Nobody's got AIDS.
some people do.
I knew a guy when I went to school. I grew up in a Catholic school, at least my younger years, and they were Catholic, and he was one of 13.
Wow, that's a lot.
And this is in the early 80s. I think he was the youngest or close to the youngest. So
He was Catholic and had 13?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't think the Catholics really push him out like they used to, but 13, dude, her vagina must have been wrecked.
There's that lady that has like 18 on. I saw some TLC special or something with it. And
Yeah.
she was not as attractive as you think a woman with 18 kids should be.
Yeah. I mean, the dude's probably got a strap on like a watermelon to make it hit the sides, you know?
Totally. Yeah, you just cut a hole in a watermelon with a steak knife, shove that in there. Nice cantaloupe. Gotta leave the guts of the cantaloupe, though.
That's where the suction's at.
Yeah, that's right. It's like angel hair pasta.
Have you
all
seen
over
that
your packet.
video of the guy that makes the flutes or whatever out of melons?
Yes.
I have not seen them.
Actually, I think we have that under the recovery drive.
Oh,
Roma,
do
if
we?
you want to check that. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. He takes a variety of different melons and sometimes plays them tandemly, which is kind of cool.
How about Scientology? Have you seen these shows where Scientologists, they like kidnap people and they keep them in, underground rooms and their big, what do you call them? Their
Lair.
Basements.
their lairs.
Yeah. That's
People have to like escape,
I don't know what to think about Scientology. It seems pretty reasonable to me.
Oh my God. Wow.
I mean, except the 10%. Jeez. What am I, Catholic? I think Catholics give 10% anyways,
I think
too.
Christians in general are supposed to give 10%.
Yeah. So, see, it's the same as everybody else. Spend your Sunday hanging out with nice people, make your life better, and then they help you advance in your career, even if you're gay. Travolta.
You think John Travolta's gay?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some things. I've seen him kissing a boy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did he like it?
Yes. Is that Katy Perry?
Kissed a boy and I liked it.
Oh, no, wait, that was somebody else.
No, it was Katy Perry.
Was it Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank goodness. She's got her clouds to live on. She also has large breasts.
Really?
Yeah, she must be Mormon like the mom.
I didn't know that large breasts was an indicator of Mormonism.
If you're not wearing a bra.
I'm pretty sure that she's actually a Satanist or in the Illuminati or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of, if you watch like some of her music videos, they've got a lot of
Oh.
symbolism in them.
I've seen that on a few different stars. What do you think about that? The Illuminati and all the...
I have two feelings
rumors.
about it. I think A, it's probably legitimately a thing, but I think also B, it's scandalous and creates a buzz, and so it's kind of like that whole like bad boy image, It's like, oh, they're Satanists, and so like there's all this rumor, and I don't know.
Interesting.
But I definitely think it's a thing for sure, absolutely, 120%. And in fact, things like Epstein, he had his own, sex island, and he had a temple on it where they would supposedly do sexual rituals like Aleister Crowley type things. Yeah, it's absolutely a thing for sure. But I don't know, like Jay-Z and Beyonce and stuff are supposed to be pretty high in the hierarchy, that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they're not successful, though.
Right.
So it doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, I guess New York State of Mind was pretty good. Not the Billy Joel version,
Oh, the
Jay-Z version with
the-
Alicia Keys.
what is it called? Pretend Time. What's that cartoon?
Oh, Adventure Time.
Adventure Time.
Uh-huh.
The making pancakes. Bacon
Making
pancakes.
pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Make
Take
some bacon and put it in
a
your pancakes.
Making pancakes, that's what we're gonna make. Bacon pancakes.
pancakes.
Is that the Illuminati?
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
they're really into bacon
I've never known.
pancakes.
I've never had a strong opinion on the Illuminati thing. That seems like a pretty hard thing to nail down.
Look up spirit cooking, man.
Jeffrey Epstein is a real dude that had a real island with obviously a real temple on it, and obviously women were getting raped there.
Children.
Children were getting raped there. But the Illuminati, I mean, where's the Illuminati temple and who's the We don't know.
Well,
so
you
it's
can go to the.
it's not Beyonce.
What's the? There's a bird, not a bird, an owl.
There's a bird?
Is it Moloch?
Pollock.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
It's a pelican.
Hey, get that picture of Ted Bundy napping off the screen.
Yeah. Quietly resting. Yeah, I don't buy into all that stuff. I think it's all just the now I will buy into some political power conspiracy things, yeah.
Sure, yeah, but if the Illuminati is heavily involved in the
Moloch.
political stuff, then how the heck did Trump get elected? Because they didn't want him. You know that.
Oh no, I thought they were all racists in the Illuminati.
No, because Beyonce and Jay-Z are in it.
I think I've seen Beyonce do the OK symbol.
Yeah, there's some great pictures of Barack Obama
Mhm.
and other people with the OK symbol.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Bohemian Grove. That's what I'm talking about.
the funny thing is that OK symbol was actually it was a 4chan thing. So people just started saying that was a thing, that it was a like a racist symbol, and then the stupid idiots took it and it actually made it a thing. So they were just trolls,
Yeah,
joking,
and yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where they do it's a death ritual, I believe, and it's Bohemian Grove, and it's to the demon Moloch, I believe. And it's totally legitimately a thing. There's all types of evidence for it. People have written books on it. Like, it's absolutely 120% a thing.
Interesting. And they just, people just take pictures there. They're driving by.
Well, it's like, or have you ever seen the
it's like
symbolism in like the dollar bills and stuff?
Oh, yeah. The eyeballs and the things.
Owls and stuff.
If you fold it one way, it looks like Benjamin Franklin's blowing the guy.
No.
That's hilarious.
I don't think that's a thing. I was just, just try to be cool.
Or there's the Twin Towers thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is a thing.
Just the Illuminati symbolism on there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's the $2 bill. He's as queer as a $2 bill.
It's queer as a $3 bill is the thing.
Is it? Oh, I don't know.
Is
I've had a $2 bill. I didn't think too much of it.
Didn't make you feel extra
All my
gay.
queer friends say $3 bills, so
Yeah. It's because they're walking around with their $2 bills all over the place. See? 4chan. Trying to change the
Bring
culture.
it back.
so dumb.
Yep. It's true.
Now, the OK symbol was never a racist gesture. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's like now people are getting in trouble for the circle game.
Yeah. Same thing. You know,
Yeah,
I
they
think
investigated those. What was it?
Navy
Yeah, the Navy team
cadets or yeah, it
cadets,
was I don't know exactly what they were. Seamen. Sailors.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a
but
boatload of seamen.
that's the funny. That's I don't know. That's
You could have laughed.
so stupid that people are taking. They have to ride the racism and all that stuff. It's like
People
Makes
need
it hard to
hobbies.
just be a human.
People need podcasts.
Yeah, totally. Why don't they get a podcast and then they can talk about things and no one will listen? if they're talking about how racist everybody is and how terrible the world is, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be around you, so just stay in your studio. You don't even have to record it.
Yeah.
You can just upload a hiss. Oh, by the way, we're gonna have all of our episodes up to date on our iTunes and all the other places that we have it, Google Play, SoundCloud.
Did we do Stitcher yet?
I have it all applied with, and I thought I had already applied for Spotify, but I couldn't find it. But I submitted all this stuff, so it should show up.
Cool.
Should show up any day now.
It's definitely becoming one of the biggest platforms. So
Yeah, okay. Well, then that's where we'll be. See you later, YouTube douchebags. Just kidding.
It's all audio.
We can't even. Well, see, then you could show all the pictures of dead people you want. Oh my God.
Sarah says good job.
I wonder if they allow the audio from porn on there.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Probably
all that ASMR stuff.
I was just talking about that
What is that?
earlier today.
What is it?
That's where they take a microphone and they put it right up to their mouth and they eat.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And you listen to all the nuances of the noises of one's mouth or other quiet things. ASMR doesn't have to be chewing, but things that are otherwise quiet become very, very loud.
Yeah.
And people have a thing about it.
It's supposed to be a stimulation of your like central nervous system that is actually, I guess it's rooted in you to love it or hate it. So it either like gives you chills and makes you feel calm, or it drives you crazy.
It
Sort of like
annoys
sucking
the
on
piss out of me.
toes.
All right,
I do
that
not.
calms you down, puts you right to sleep.
Yeah.
Margot says, or brush their hair.
Oh, I've not heard that one.
Like, listening to
Yeah.
people eat, when it can be really obnoxious. It depends on the person. It depends on what they're eating.
Yeah. I mean, they can brush their hair or like clip their nails.
Yeah.
Or like just,
toenails.
Weird stuff.
And I think people eating things, smacking their lips.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Or drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know, and I'm sure if you're a hot chick doing it, it's probably that's where you make your money because people are.
Wasn't there some chick that makes her whole thing? She sits on cakes. She bakes a cake and then she sits on it. Isn't that a thing?
Cake sitting, yes.
Cake sitting. Oh, tell us more about it, Steve.
Well, I'm more of a cake farts kind of guy.
How long have you been into cake farts?
I'm not into food and pornography. That's about the only thing that I don't.
What about farts? I mean,
Bad
don't
smells.
backpedal now.
I'm sensitive to smells, and so smells are. I mean, I guess if it was like just
You
compressed
obviously
air,
can't smell the smells through the internet.
Oh, yeah. Well, but I have to be lost in the fantasy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
that's fair.
You get and that's a reason why I don't like lesbian porn that much. It's because it's nice to watch girls kiss and all that stuff, but
It's boring.
But that's never going to happen for average guys like us.
Well, I mean, we get the right hormone therapies because that's all right nowadays.
Right.
But I just can't really picture myself in the situation, and it's like, ooh, watching two chicks make out so hot. It's like, no, well, it's watching anyone make out isn't really that hot. It's not. I guess I prefer two chicks if I have to watch.
Sure.
But I'm not gonna choose to watch. I don't know.
Tell us about more strange fetishes, Steve.
Margot says, or whispering.
Yeah, they whisper.
Yep.
Like this.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
ASMR. Oh my God, it's huge.
It's exploding.
Yeah.
I could do that. What about cracking knuckles?
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly. Yep. Totally.
And like people popping things or okay, here's one.
Bubble wrap.
Yeah. But they also take, what is it, like pieces of plastic, like little, it's kind of like just little plastic cylinders, like those like pickup sticks or something. It's just like those little plastic ones, and they'll mix them in with like goo, and they'll basically make phloem. You remember that like old school, and just the sound that it makes, and there's different combinations of chemicals and things that you use. You can go like to the hardware store or wherever and get this stuff, mix it all together, and people will actually make videos of doing it and then destroying it at the end and just messing with it. It's an interesting thing. This Generation Z is a very interesting. Much better than millennials, I think. I like the Generation Z.
Wait, the Z is after the millennials?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the like 20 somethings like right now, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
But I think just the creativity, and it's not the outrage culture. It's creativity. It's a lot of, I don't know. It just seems like a better. I prefer it. Definitely more conservative and more. I don't know.
Let's see here. Sarah says package crinkling. Kat says dogs chomping on food.
Okay. That's, yeah.
Did we ever look into the taser challenge video?
Yeah,
Did you forget about that?
Yeah.
All right, next time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find one, but there's so many of them. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why we can't YouTube videos while we're here.
There's a bazillion.
So we were talking about how Mormons like survival, right?
Yes, that's where we left off.
With package crinkling, what's the best way to, they have these seven kids. They have to have 2 years of food. What do you do? Do you go with freeze dried, which I'm sure the texture isn't great? Do you go with cans, which I'm sure isn't going to last quite as long?
Yeah, Mormons are huge into canning, and canned stuff can last a long time.
Okay. Like canned pork?
Yeah, it lasts years
Really?
and years. Yeah.
No botulism?
Nope, not when you can it properly.
And they self can?
Yes.
So then they can have all their favorites?
Yeah, they also have they have canning facilities. There's entire Mormon-owned, Mormon-operated
Del Monte?
like that.
Oh.
But it's just for the Mormons.
Really?
You can go.
We can't even have it?
No.
Can we pretendsies?
I don't know.
We could be a gay Mormon couple. We keep trying to have babies. We're trying, guys.
Yeah, no, they've got giant facilities where they make all kinds of food for the Mormon community, both to eat now and both for long-term food storage stuff. And you go down there, and I don't know if they call them their food banks, but they're essentially food banks. They got hundreds of people working at these facilities, canning food and making stuff all day long.
So, is it a storage place where Mormons like group put their food?
No.
Is that the food bank?
No, so this is just a place where they make it, put it in the cans, and then the more you come by and you pick it up
Okay.
for your family.
Okay.
You purchase it, or it's also a place where needy Mormons can go get free food.
Yeah.
Like
Mormons
a
are
food
so
bank.
needy.
But no, there is no community.
Yeah.
Like this is where we keep our food long term.
Yeah.
You do that in your home.
Yeah. And so, okay, so let's say you're going with. So, have you eaten freeze dried food before? That like survival, the buckets you see them at Walmart and stuff. What are they like? So I know there's like soups and things. What else do those have in them? Do they have like chili and anything good? Is there anything good in any of those?
I'm trying to think of what most of them are. I mean, there's a lot of like fruits and stuff like that.
Like dehydrated, but I imagine a lot are powders
I
and
think
things.
of like the MREs.
MREs are pretty
Yeah,
decent.
but that's a whole different thing. But
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then-
I mean, the MREs are great. But
And there's the camping food too, the mountain house stuff. And I ate that for like 2 days. So I think I ate trout and I ate mountain house food.
And how much diarrhea did you have on the third day?
I think I quit eating it because I woke up and I was like, I was like, my hands feel weird. And it was from all the sodium. Like,
Oh, wow.
I realized that my hands were swollen. Like, you couldn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would
Because
they
I
put
think
that
I was
much
eating it
sodium in
like
'em?
4 meals a day. You're camping, so you eat a lot. And I didn't realize.
So it's the end of the world and you've got hypertension?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, basically, Steve's going to last 2 days at the end of the world.
Well, I learned a lesson.
My
there.
hands can't move. Well, he's useless. Shoot him.
Yeah, I learned some lessons there. So I learned don't eat those all the time because obviously they're not going to be good for you.
Right.
But I could do cans. Could do some Hormel chili.
I mean, what's some good things to keep that doesn't go bad?
So, I mean, some things are, cheap, easy things are rolled oats. Get those.
Gross.
And
I'd rather die.
I'm not sure what all you'd have to do to rolled oats to make them last a long, long time, like many years.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so cheap, you could just replace several bags of them every couple of years and be totally fine.
It's like if your wife was prostituting herself.
Right, correct.
For rolled oats.
Yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bitch, get out there and work.
Yeah. Or if she were to prostitute herself on a pile of rolled oats.
Yeah.
I knew
Makes its
somebody
own
that
gravy.
did that on a
Yeah.
on a bag
Oh,
of coffee beans.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Now, egg salad. Is that where you're going to say that?
yeah, that was the next one.
Mm-hmm. What's the shelf life of egg
but
salad?
I think pinto beans are the most optimal overall bean.
Nutrition wise, or
By
being able to keep them long?
by nutrition, by keeping long, and by you don't need hot water. You just put them in any water and they become soft and edible.
Swamp water.
So you don't have to have a source of heat. You just put them in some water.
And anybody who gets black beans over pinto beans, fuck them.
Yeah.
I
Really?
hate those fucking people.
Do you think so?
Oh,
I can
absolutely.
never decide the two.
Black beans are shit.
Are they?
They were this thing that the liberal media pushed for a little while, and people fell for it. It's bullshit. Fuck them.
I can never decide between the two, so a lot of times I'll go and I'll get half and half.
Roma?
I don't know.
What was the other thing?
You've been socially programmed to believe in something that's ridiculous. Why do you think we never ate a goddamn black bean before that?
I don't know.
You think suddenly someone discovered
Wait a
this
minute.
new delicious bean?
So pinto beans are the same thing as refried beans, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I tend to like pinto beans quite a bit.
Sarah says black bean brownies.
Well, if you make anything a brownie, it's going to be delicious.
This is true. This is totally true.
Yeah, dog shit brownies. I don't know. Any of it's good.
So just looking up a list of other good long-term foods. Trying
What
to
about,
get to
like,
it. Lard,
something-
lard was one important thing.
Oh,
is
yeah.
lard.
Lard's delicious.
Yeah.
Did you know that I guess lard
Peanut
is
butter.
making a comeback?
Peanut butter.
Oats, vitamins, ramen.
I guess we're finally decided that vegetable oil is bad for us. And so I think
I mean,
maybe McDonald's fries will actually taste
have lard
amazing
in them
again.
I mean, here's the thing: like, the closer it is to nature and unprocessed, the better it's going to be for you. And that whole like anti-fat thing is total bullshit. And I also think
Yeah,
the whole
anti-fat.
yeah.
Like, weren't
They
they
just wear
protesting?
bibs. Just wear them up. they've got lobster hammers. Those splashing just milkshakes at you. Like, where's the cement?
Oh, good stuff.
They throw it at you and then they tell you not to drink it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, good stuff. Yeah.
Anti-fat.
Margaret says that
That's a good one, Steve.
black bean
Good job.
brownies are awesome too.
Oh, jeez.
But I also don't buy the whole anti-red meat thing either. How it
No.
like brings your blood pressure up and all that crap. I think that's total bullshit.
I don't want to be passing out all the time.
Right? Same thing with I actually had to have iron infusions. My iron was so damn low.
You're like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean you got to red meat inside cast iron skillets. That's the way to go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
And crumple up some iron pills up on top of it. Flavor it up. Delicious.
I think freeze-dried fruits and some of those are some of the tastiest things you can get, but they're very, very expensive, for very little calorie return.
Yeah.
It's very impractical as far as just considering the 1% chance you'll ever use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very impractical way to use your money.
Yeah.
So,
And
you know, because it's like $15 or $20 for
Yeah.
like several ounces of like, say, freeze-dried bananas.
Right. Which
You know.
is
And are
it's
you
like
supposed
air.
to reconstitute them? How do you use those? Or you just eat them dry like space ice cream
Yeah,
or
you
whatever?
just, I mean, I think that there might be some things that you reconstitute, but that's,
Mhm.
for my understanding, is most freeze-dried stuff, you just eat it.
Margot says chia seeds are supposed to last almost forever and are a great source of nutrition. But
Yep.
she said probably not that palatable, but they also are very, very filling because they get that like mucous membrane around them when they get hydrated.
They're the sexiest of all the seeds.
Also, honey.
Honey.
Honey lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I think, didn't they say they found honey from like 3,000 years ago, still perfectly good? Something
For
like
the
that.
Egyptians or,
Yeah.
or in some of the pharaohs' tombs.
Correct.
Crazy.
yeah.
Who knew that?
So I guess that'd be like 10,000 or I don't know. I don't know.
Several.
Something like that. I guess before Jesus.
Yeah, they think, what are the pyramids are supposed to be 6,000 or 8,000 years or something like that.
And I heard that there was some water, some erosion on the Sphinx that's even dates it longer than that. But there's a conspiracy because everybody writes all these books and they're supposed to be these experts in it. So they're basically like, yeah, if you're a geologist, which who isn't, right? They're always all bragging. If you're a geologist, you can look at the water erosion patterns and go, this is obviously, it took longer than this to make this type of erosion, and apparently things are a lot older than they thought they were. But the Mormons made the earth when they did. What's the difference?
Right.
Right. Yep.
Hey, I saw it. He went like that, and then the door, and then things,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly there was a place. And then a third of people were good.
Right.
They were white.
Mm-hmm.
And the other
third were
were-
demons, and the other third were ambivalent.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, like end of the world stuff. While we're into it, what about bug out stuff?
The age-old question: bug out or stay in? What do you
Yep.
think, Steve?
I mean, most people in most situations, I think, should definitely be bugging in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once you're out of your home and you don't have a reliable shelter or heat, I mean, you have to have a plan. There has, bugging out is a short-term thing, to do for days or weeks until you find another home to live in. I mean, it's just not something that's sustainable.
Either you're a roving gang or you're blowing the roving gangs. So, I mean, how many roving gangs do you want to blow?
Right.
That's what I think. And if you have Netflix at home, what are you leaving for? You order a pizza.
It's the end of the world, Steve. You can't order pizza.
I mean, they can 30 minutes or less.
Oh.
How much time do you have?
It's 30 minutes or it's free, right?
Exactly, yeah. Where's my free pizza?
I'm sorry, sir. It's the end of the world.
I've died of radiation.
I'm going to leave a bad Google review for you.
Yeah. Oh, goddamn Yelp. So what do you think's going to cause the end of the world there, Steve?
My top guesses
Mm-hmm.
are, well, for realistic things that are definitely going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
the collapse of the dollar is going to happen at some point.
Mm.
I mean, it has to happen. We're $20 trillion in debt.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. I mean, that's just, but I don't think that would necessarily mean the end of the world. If we handled it well, if the United States just kind of went bankrupt on all of our debts and just said, sorry, guys, we're starting over, then it could just be a couple years of, bad times. But I don't think people would be killing each other under those circumstances.
Yeah.
But, I think the top fear most people have is an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, which is naturally given off by any kind of a nuclear weapon, atomic bombs. So if you solar flares can happen. The Carrington event. Are you familiar with that? The one in the mid 1800s.
I think so. Yeah.
Massive solar flare, and it fried all of our what do you call them? The lines.
Telegraph
lines.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And that
when was this?
When?
Ish? When was this? Ish?
Civil War time.
Crazy.
And I think it was in the middle of the Civil War, as I recall.
And do you know how they knew, I guess, that it was a solar flare, or is it just speculated, or
No, they know. I mean, we know
Okay.
they know it was a solar event.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they know that, but
Yeah.
it's not speculation.
That's interesting.
So, I mean, it was the largest solar flare in the last couple hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been another one since.
Yeah.
But if that happened again, cars would not be moving unless they were built prior to 1980. You know, I mean, with no computer chips or anything, they'd have to be 100% mechanical.
Yeah.
Your computers, phones, everything would be fried. That would be an end of the world scenario.
Yeah.
Because there'd be no way to recreate our infrastructure fast enough before everyone started killing each other. I mean, it would be devastating to at least half the planet. It would be completely devastating.
So I guess in the areas that are not as technologically advanced, they would just kind of live life just as they're going. It would just be
I mean,
all the first world.
People down in Peru in the jungles,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that hunt monkeys every day and frickin', you know, light up a bunch of wood and put a giant pot on it and throw a couple chickens in it for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
They don't have electricity anyways. They don't give a crap.
Interesting.
But there is a possibility, you know, if a foreign power snuck an atomic bomb into Canada and sent it up into the air 50 to 100,000 feet, if they did that on each coast, Atlantic and Pacific, it could wipe out, you know, 2/3 of the entire electrical infrastructure of the country in moments.
Interesting.
If they did it in 3 spots, it could be like 90%.
And how long would the egg salad last?
Well, I mean, if you take it out of the fridge, you're talking 3 to 4 hours max with the egg salad.
We better get rid of it then.
So
the that solar flare was September 1st, 1859.
yeah, right at the start of the Civil War.
Yeah. That night, the telegraph communications around the world began to fail. There were reports of sparks showering from telegraph machines, shocking operators and setting papers ablaze. All over the planet, colorful auroras illuminated the nighttime skies, glowing so brightly that birds began to chirp, and laborers started their day chores, believing the sun had begun to rise.
Wow.
That's
great.
bizarre.
Yeah. It was a big deal.
I like how the telegraph operators were all shocked. They're all, or they might have literally been shocked. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's unclear.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I think it's smart to, I personally think everyone should be keeping food and water. You can get 40 bottles of water at Costco for $2.99. And so if you got $20, you can go buy, you know, a 3 or 6 month supply of water for yourself and your family. So very little excuse there.
I mean, unless you're eating Mountain House foods and then you're so thirsty from all the salt.
Right.
You can barely get those bottles open with your pudgy mitts. It's like rubbing two hams together.
You're saying I have pudgy mitts.
Oh, when you eat the Mountain House. Can't even bend your fingers right.
Could you not even bend your fingers at all?
No, you could, but it was just like you could just feel your skin was taut, like really dry.
Yeah.
But it was just that it was swollen. Yeah.
It's a good thing you don't wear rings.
Yeah. I was a lot more Italian back
What
then.
do you think
Roma.
about prepping, Steve?
In what regard, I guess? Narrowing down a little.
Do you think it's prudent to be preparing for a societal collapse?
I do think that for the most part, I think a lot of us take for granted that nothing will ever happen. And what do they say? 3 days until kind of chaos breaks out. If there's no power, there's no services, whatever you want to call it. I wonder if that's even been shortened now that cellular technology because it's like if you don't have the internet for just like 10 minutes alone by
Oh,
yourself,
people get very upset.
what the fuck are you gonna do?
Right? Seriously.
I can't jerk off to pictures on the wall.
Well, I have a hard time. If I leave my phone in the other room, there's like a certain of like, oh, like I gotta walk into the room and get my phone. Like I'm disconnected to my phone. Like,
Totally. It's amazing. It's amazing how much of our lives are intertwined with technology nowadays.
Yeah. If something happened,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, store shelves will be empty by the end of the day. One day.
Yeah.
It's not a 2-day thing.
Well, they know the egg salad.
Right.
It's going bad. So you got to get there and get some eggs boiled.
Yeah.
They break up their furniture probably.
Yeah. Did you know you can make eggs last up to 9 months if you just cover them in oil?
I've heard, mineral oil
mineral oil,
yeah. That's, and I think eggs last a long time. Like I've never smelled a rotten egg, but being the way that I am, I'll buy eggs and I'll do something like big, like go omelets or go whatever it is, whatever I'm into at the moment.
And then your butt makes them smell rotten?
That does happen. That's been
okay.
happening.
Finish your story.
A little, yeah. By the way, guys, sorry. No, I'm just kidding. It's a small studio.
we have an air filtration system.
Roma, you turned that off now. And then I'll leave them in the fridge for a little while. So, and just kind of forget about them. But I've never come across it where it's like, oh, rotten eggs. And in all the cartoons and everything, they always talk about rotten eggs, right?
Yeah.
Or that was like a thing.
They're like green and but they also didn't have refrigeration like they do now.
Yeah.
But there's actually, if you put the egg in water and if it floats or
It's
like
older.
Then it's a witch. Wait.
Kill it.
That's-
Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm. Actually, if you crack an egg and there's blood in it, that's bad juju,
Oh.
which
Well,
I've done before.
it's like
What's the most yolks you've ever gotten in an egg?
7.
You just
That's a
made that up.
lie.
It was one for every Mormon kid.
You just lied.
And we cut the egg into 7. It was like Hanukkah.
If you go by jumbo eggs at
Mm-hmm.
Trader Joe's, I've had where 7 or 8 out of the 12 are all twins in there.
Oh, weird.
Holy shit.
Thanks, Monsanto.
Yeah, serious.
Yeah. And I think that a virus of some kind. So actually, speaking of which, the coronavirus that China started.
Yeah, I hear you contract that by drinking really low quality beer.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, serious.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good thing I don't drink beer.
Corona.
Get it?
Actually, I think I made that joke earlier.
Roma. You didn't even
Something
recognize
about
it.
Mexican beer.
So there was the first cases in France and the first cases in Australia. So
They've had 2 here.
Oh, really? Yeah.
There's
Well-
Chicago and
So have people died?
yeah, like 20.
I don't know.
Like almost 20 people have
Has
died.
anybody died in the States?
In the States, no one's died.
But see, the thing about it is the CDC has these squads of people that are quick reaction, or maybe it's not CDC. I think it's a World Health Organization, the WHO, and they are ready to. They're not medical professionals per se. I'm sure some can be. But they are going and they will actually screen people. So, like with the Ebola outbreak, they were screening people in airports and things like that for symptoms. I think it's the worst thing in the world because we need a little catharsis in the world. We need a little more elbow room, you know?
You are trying to have this virus kill people.
Wow.
That's what you want.
I'm just saying that it would be fine. I mean, if I'm one of the ones that die, then the world will be less funny.
Yeah, so we can't have that, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So somebody save my life, for God's sakes!
Kat said that she heard somewhere that it came from eating bats.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that.
that's anti-bat propaganda by the conservative media.
Who the hell's eating bats?
Oh, you know.
people in Asia, I guess.
Well, they
Yeah.
used to say that AIDS came from eating monkeys. Remember that?
Cave birds. Eating those
eating-
goddamn cave birds. And bats eat insects, which are themselves delicious. So how can it not be delicious?
Right.
That's the new trend, is eating insects. Did you know that you can get barbecued crickets at, I don't know where it's at, but it's a thing.
Kenya?
Yeah.
Sorry, not can you. Kenya.
Oh, Kenya.
That's where you can get it at.
That's a country in Africa.
Yes. It's where Obama's dad is from. There's crickets. Oh,
Yeah,
hold on.
that's if you believe Obama's long-form birth certificate.
There we go.
Somebody's getting hungry. Not me.
Where's that?
Delicious.
Where's that one video of the things in the attic?
Oh. Something about, let's see. It is.
Terrifying? It's got to be terrifying. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Hold on, Steve. You got to watch this.
Okay.
So this is what someone saw when they looked in their attic. And we wonder why. Roma, are you going to play the nipple video again? 'Cause Steve loved it so much.
God, that was so awful.
Are you thirsty?
Are you thirsty?
How come
So
it's not
bad.
working?
Oh my God, Roba.
I don't know why it's not working.
What is it? Oh,
That's not it.
that is not it, Roma.
That's a big effing owl.
Yeah, in your house. Fuck that guy. Look at this. And look at the way it just fucking looks. Here it is, you're a dude and your dick pops out of your fucking pajama pants and suddenly there's a predatory fucking bird flying out of a barn and grabbing your tiny penis with its giant bill, nipping it off like a small baby gerbil, hairless.
I know a guy that was riding a motorcycle and he saw a mouse run across the street in front of him.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, there goes a mouse across the street in front of me while I'm riding my motorcycle.
Okay.
And he had a helmet on.
All right.
And what was chasing that mouse but an owl?
Oh.
Hit him right in the goddamn face.
Okay.
He drove right into the owl.
That is awesome.
And it went through his helmet shield, and there was owl guts all over his face inside of the helmet.
Expect the unexpectable.
So, all right. Now, I had a similar experience. Did I ever tell you about my owl story?
I don't think so.
In the road? So I was driving home. It was about 1 a.m.
You're making out with an owl.
Yeah, exactly. Had a fucking dick. No, just kidding. So I was driving down a road. It was kind of by a high school. And in the middle of the road, it looked like there was just like a paper bag, like a McDonald's bag or something. So I'm just like, oh, nothing wrong, And so I just turned my wheel so that I could just go around it. It was just a 2-lane, one-way, 2-way street.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was just coming into the other lane, fucking wings pop out and the thing goes in front of my car.
No.
It didn't fly that way. It flew in.
Oh, no.
Over the top. Fucking, I got out and it was an owl sitting there dying.
Oh.
And I was doing martial arts at the time, so I had a 4-foot Joe in the back of my car. And I may have helped put it out of its misery.
What the hell's a Joe?
It's like a bow, like a 6-foot bow staff.
Oh, okay.
But it was a 4-foot Joe, they called it. So
That's really sad. I feel unusually sad about your story.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was fine.
I wasn't worried about you, Steve.
Oh, I thought it was the trauma.
I feel bad for the owl.
Yeah, but I hate owls. Did you see it? Those things are fucking crazy.
I can't find that owl video, and I'm kind of upset about it.
I might have deleted it, Roma, because it was a previous one. Maybe.
Is this the attic thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Owl-liens. I think I called it.
Because I went to the used videos file.
Is it down anywhere in that? No.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
But
anyways, what the hell was the video?
so it was apparently baby owls are horrific, and it looked like aliens because there was two of them standing. If you watch back, I think it was the first 2 episodes ago. So it was the first ones that that we saw, and I've always hated birds. Birds are the fucking
Sure, they're terrifying.
They're the stupidest. Yeah, they walk around like fucking dinosaurs. They don't contribute anything.
Oh,
All
I
they
found
do.
it.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
there it is.
Keep talking though.
All they do is fuck up your shit. So like, they make a bunch of noise. They shit all over the place. You ever been shit on by a bird?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, one shit in Cyndi Lauper's mouth while she was singing on stage.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
In New York.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah,
Watch
like
this.
in the middle of her solo. So look, yeah, they're looking up at their fucking thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
Why are they standing like that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tell me you
I'm
wouldn't
telling
shit
you.
yourself if you
Oh,
saw
you feel a
that.
little differently
Does
about
that one on the
little
left
owl.
have a penis? I feel like that must be a boy owl on the left
Yeah,
there.
that's the one I made out with, and
He looks like he's got big nuts.
I got some
Wow,
big
that
nuts.
is really
Yeah.
Why are
really
they standing
weird.
like that? That's terrifying.
Well, they're scared too. You're putting a flashlight up there, and they're also gonna haunt your dreams. Yeah. Could you imagine how freaked out that person must have been the first time they did that? Like, oh, we hear something up in the attic. What do you think that? You know, just they probably just had that. You know, your eyes just come just over it. Suddenly you're face to face with fucking 2-foot aliens. I don't know. They look tall. Hard to say how tall they actually are.
Do you believe aliens are real? Do you believe aliens visit this planet? Or possibly already live here?
Have or yeah. I definitely believe in I definitely believe that there is life. And I feel like we have the technology, but we haven't figured it out yet. I feel like whether it was Roswell or something else similar to that, but I don't know. It seems like because then if you think about the way we invent things, you have to develop the components first. So you have to develop the ability to make wire before you can make electronics or whatever, chips or blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
I feel like there was definitely an acceleration in, from the industrial, the industrial age to like the technological age.
Mm-hmm.
And I know wars and NASA and stuff pushes technology, but I just wonder if there are things that we are using now that were perhaps not on the plan until something else was out there or something else was like, oh, that's we got to figure out how this works, whether it's cell phones or what, I don't know. But
Sarah keeps bringing up Space Force over and over again. She's really into it.
I'm very excited about it. I actually want a shirt, a Space Force shirt.
Hell
That'd
yeah.
be pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, I'm a little unclear on what Space Force exactly is going to be doing, but I'm not upset about it.
Fighting the Chinese, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's supposed to be defending against foreign spy satellites and seeking out, all the stuff that the other governments are up to. And
We got to shoot down that goddamn Mir space station.
yeah. Mir.
Mm-hmm.
Sons of bitches.
I'm pretty sure no one's living in that one anymore. I mean, because you can only fart in a tube so long before you have to throw it away.
Okay, here's something that who is taking care of the satellites that are supposedly orbiting the Earth? Like, for instance, there's like a T-Mobile satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Who's taking care of this?
And when you say taking care, you mean like maintenance and things?
Yeah, maintenance and stuff.
I don't think there is
And
any maintenance.
How come they're never like falling to the Earth or anything?
Occasionally, satellites do fall to the Earth.
I've never heard that ever.
I have seen that a couple times.
I think there's been a couple. It always lands in Russia or someplace out of the way.
Siberia.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. is such a... We're the only important ones.
Right.
You know, and it's such a small target. Sorry, I made a ring with my finger.
Oh, what?
I didn't mean to...
Don't make a white power
Yeah,
symbol.
I didn't mean to. But I think... So the idea with a satellite is... As it's going around, it's falling at the same rate it's advancing. So that it's constantly basically just falling around the Earth. So you have to get it to a certain speed and a certain height that, you know, and really if you look up in the sky nowadays, if it's dark enough, you'll see satellites going overhead. And there's the geosynchronous. And then I don't know what the other one is, but like geosynchronous would be for like stuff you're gonna use like a satellite phone, so that like the signal doesn't cut out you're.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. Like, how often does your internet cut out, and yet these satellites are working just without issue, and nobody needs to go up there and tighten the screws or anything?
I guess not. I don't know.
Trust it.
I don't
Go
know.
up there and tighten the screws.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm up here on goddamn day. He's up there farting and fucking eating a sandwich.
In his spacesuit.
Why are there so many screws on this satellite?
He's all greasy. Did you wash your hands before you touch my fucking satellite, you maniac? He's been drinking.
Somebody's got to tighten the screws.
Yeah. Oh, my porno's coming in fuzzy. Get that guy up there. Get Larry up to the old satellite up there. Fucking spaceman Larry.
Sarah says they probably burn up in re-entry too.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be. You'd think so, yeah.
If only we could put owls on it then.
Okay, okay. Who thinks that we went to the moon?
I do.
I do not.
We
didn't have the technology for it.
Roma, we have spaceships, okay? Like I said.
Supposedly they went up there in spaceships that were made out of aluminum. Are you freaking kidding me? They're going to go in through the atmosphere in aluminum ships? No.
Well,
absolutely not.
I think so.
Nope. Don't believe it.
I mean, aluminum holds a soda. Why wouldn't it get through
Sarah
space?
says Space Force janitors.
So then, Steve, why, with the advancements in technology that we do have, which is thousands of times better than what they had in the 60s, why have we not been back in 50 years?
I think because it was a useless endeavor as it was. It was more just a show.
Space race.
Yeah. And I think I do understand what you guys are saying, though, that like we could have just faked the whole thing for the Soviets, you know?
Well, and then there's been like, I've seen pictures of like supposedly the moon, and yet they found like the same pictures of the same rocks and stuff out in the middle of the desert. There's a video of a NASA guy that's like, oh yeah, we totally had the technology and then we lost it. What the hell does that mean? How do you lose technology? It's totally a thing. You should look
satellite.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I guess I look at it for the overall picture. You know, John Glenn and Buzz Lightyear and what was the third guy? Woody Harrelson. Yeah, they were. I think so. Definitely Buzz Aldrin. I think he was like he would like punch out like
a reporter.
Yeah. And you know, he's like a 90-year-old guy. I don't know. And does it really matter to me? I guess is the other question.
I lean towards more likely that it did happen, but with serious skepticism.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing about it is that I think it would be impossible to keep so many people quiet about such a large conspiracy.
True.
That's the big thing for me. I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
however, because everyone at NASA would have to be in on it.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, there's just you can't build an entire NASA space program that the whole point is to go to the moon and then just shoot a video.
Yeah.
And then everyone is just like, okay, I guess we just kind of are going to fake our jobs.
Well, and then at the same time, they never brought anything back from the moon. They didn't even bring moon dust.
No.
At least that's what I've read.
I think. I wonder.
Margot says we went to the moon.
And
What do you
I
know,
wonder
Marco?
with because they were saying Kubrick was the one that directed the moon, landing or whatever it was, and then he left a bunch of things in his movies. He left little nuggets of don't believe it because Danny's wearing a NASA shirt or a rocket shirt in The Shining. It's like, or it could just be he was wearing a rocket shirt. It could be that was a costume lady and had
Right.
nothing to do with the director of the film trying to give you clues that he actually, come on, people.
Illuminati.
Yeah, let's relax a little
That
bit.
seems like a little stretch.
Illuminati. Get it? Like a moon?
Yes,
Moon-illuminati.
Moon-illuminati. Yes.
Moon latte.
Yes, the moon latte. Now, I would believe something like, what was the chick banging everybody?
Pamela Anderson.
Almost?
Jenna Jameson.
Almost?
Uh,
The other blonde in the 50s that Kennedy
Marilyn
killed.
Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, yeah.
oh.
I would believe something like that, however, is more possible because then it's
Sure.
a very small amount of people. You put some pills in her hand, looks like she took pills.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
knows? Those
Powerful-
crazy bitches.
Powerful political people kill people all the time.
Exactly.
Epstein.
Yeah. What? I'm with her. So, yeah, I definitely believe that conspiracies are a thing, but I also, the other thing is that can something get flipped on us so that they make a conspiracy the story so that you don't believe it? So it's like that double mindfuck kind of thing. It's like, do they make it so that they're actually covering up something else?
Right.
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Distraction.
It's weird,
Area,
yeah,
Area
yeah.
51 or whatever.
Disinformation, whatever you want to
Fake
call
news.
it.
Yeah.
Dark
Because
web.
the Soviets are supposedly the best at disinformation ever. I guess they've got tons of
What does
people
that even
working all
mean?
the time and have their own division. Yeah, it's very interesting. So I wonder what other stuff seems to be common knowledge or whatever that is completely just.
I don't know. I don't trust any of that stuff, to be honest. So
Well, owls are bullshit.
What about Sasquatch, Steve? Do you believe in Sasquatch?
I do.
For realsies.
For realsies.
I do.
For realsies, realsies.
Do you not believe in Bigfoot?
I'm not saying that.
I think the woods are too dark and too broad, and I don't know.
Steve, didn't you have a friend that saw Bigfoot?
Yeah, I have people that I love and trust with my whole life that have seen him. So that's the most compelling thing for me because I know this person so well. And
Do we want to do a
And-
Sasquatch episode coming up?
yeah, we could totally do Sasquatch.
Okay, yeah, we
I'm
should.
all about it.
We could
but-
get some video and some other things together.
Yeah, he and his wife were driving through Montana, and she.
Don't tell the story. It's a teaser.
Frickin' A.
I mean, you could give a teaser of the story, but yeah, I don't.
Okay, and then they saw it. To be continued.
Yeah. Da,
Dun,
da,
dun,
da. Wait, sorry.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that would be a good one. I like the cryptozoological whatever the hell. I think that stuff's fun. That's the I don't know. There has to be mystery to life. There has to be some shit that's magical. You can look at with childlike wonderment.
WDOT just caught Bigfoot on a traffic cam.
Oh yeah, that's like today news. They freaking caught a Bigfoot on a traffic cam.
All right.
Okay,
And
we
it
should
was
talk about
this
that
is
next time.
national news. Like this is on Fox, CNN, Drudgeport, New York Times. Like this is a big deal.
Think it's like a radio promo scam?
No.
Think it's a scam or something for our podcast?
No.
Think we could put a watermark on it and go, watch the sensible sociopath.
Do you got the picture to bring up?
Oh my God. You guys are eating up our Bigfoot episode.
Well, we'll show a picture, but we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, Roma, way to give away the ghost during this episode.
Bigfoot sighting.
Oh, Roma's going to show all of them. Oh, shit.
Put Bigfoot sighting traffic cam.
Okay.
There it is.
This one right here.
And the one go to the right.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
It
Yeah,
looks like Yeti.
So, you said the next one. To the
Go-
right.
Go up.
This
That
one?
one. Because that's kind of a
Oh.
close-up-ish of it. Expand.
Yeah. I'm
Zoom
working on
in.
Enhance.
Enhance.
it. Enhance.
He's not very camouflaged.
So my problem with this picture is that you can't tell shit.
Yeah.
That's
It's probably some hunter going out to his deer stand or whatever.
He's pretty darkly, I think a hunter would
Yeah.
probably be in a little light, you try to match the surroundings.
True.
So, but unless,
He doesn't have like the stereotypical gait though, so I don't trust it.
yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll bring some stuff to the table next time Steve's in, and we'll talk about Bigfoot. Because I like any of that stuff.
That actually sounds really fun. And
Yeah.
I have some. I've got a book that I read 100 years ago, and it's got some interesting connections between Bigfoot and aliens. So I could bring. I'll bring that some info on that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But and anybody who wants to submit anything, you can email it to us at thesensiblesociopath on gmail.com. At Gmail.
especially if you want to email something squatchy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's feeling
It's getting real
squatchy out.
squatchy around here.
Yeah.
Rather be squatching. It's bumper sticker.
Raw.
Yeah. So yeah, I already mentioned you can check us on iTunes and Google Play Store and the
Google
SoundCloud.
Podcast is a thing too.
Facebook, Instagram,
Yep, the gram, as the kids like to call it.
Instagram.
Facegram and Instaface.
Yeah, and actually, we might be live streaming to Facebook coming up here pretty quick. So
Something we're going to try to figure out.
we'll announce something like that. We might have to create a different type of page, but we'll figure out how to get it all wrapped up in one nice clean package.
Nice.
Yeah.
One nice clean. Oh,
Freshly
I'm a child.
shorn. Yeah. Dick jokes. They're more than welcome here on the Sensible Sociopath. So, Steve, thank you for coming out.
Thanks for
Always
having me.
interesting. You're an expert in many weird things, so that's perfect for the show. Always appreciated. And Roma,
Yes.
any plugs? Anything you got to get out now?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. Obviously, watch us here live Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you can always come back and watch anytime. Please subscribe and hit notifications so that you know when we're on. Other than that, like, tell your friends. It's, we're going from the ground up, so help us get out there.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.
It's over, Johnny.
Yeah, I read a survey once that like 98% of people die.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Europe would be a fraction of the size that it is today, if not for incest.
It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
Content and stories and whimsy and a little love.
So they say the big one's coming. For California.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Was she a great big fat person?
That's right.
Have you ever seen how many clothespins you could get on your scrotum? You ever dabbled in the dark arts?
Guess what? I don't have to fuck the goats anymore.
It's actually quite a bit of fun.
Hashtag them too.
I have no control over life.
If I had a keyboard, I'd be able to help you.
What dude hasn't tried to blow himself? 8 3/4 is totally fine.
They say that you can kill yourself.
Mark Hamill as a voice actor is absolutely phenomenal.
People get really, really hostile really, really quickly.
Rape and incest.
Oh, we started talking about crazy Joe Biden and they shut us down.
I got the Ultra AIDS.
Nobody's got AIDS.
You're throwing off my game with your heartbeat and you're talking and you're breathing.
I have had to stop using my favorite poop phrase.
Why stop at 2 atomic bombs? Why don't we just do the whole team?
Is this one of them left or right-handed coffins? Oh shit. Oh, that's a dick. Sorry, kids.
I'm airing my junk out and I'm looking
Bold.
I've always been a fan of Evan Watson after she turned 18.
After? That's where you and I are different, my friend.
I mean, I don't have a problem digging a hole and keeping an erection.
It's all about romance.
Texting, talking, touching.
Jumper cables and proper voltage, you could have dead baby movement.
Are you guys judgmental? Me? Not so much.
Bunch of Judas Priest albums. Rob Halford's pretty badass.
Yeah, I like Judas Priest.
You know he's gay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.